welcome back to Poopcast, the podcast where we talk about poop, how it smells, how it feels between our toes. Basically, we describe it. Basically, the podcast is sort of a couple of segments. One segment, we talk about what we ate the previous day. The next segment, we talk about the texture. The segment after that, we talk about maybe the smell, perhaps even the taste of the poo. That's just, the joke of that is just eating poo. That's the bit that we're doing there.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah. As you guys can hear, Zach is a little bit sick, so. Yep.
I think I ate too much shit.
Yeah, Zach, from eating shit for the pod, Zach is now dying, probably. So, comment down below, or don't if you're listening to this on Spotify. Or don't comment in general. It's not like Zach's going to hear it, because he's dead. So. Sorry, R.I.P. Zach. Okay, so YouTube removed the dislike button. Well, it didn't remove the button. They removed the bar. They removed the like to dislike bar. I think YouTube did it primarily just because of, like, for ads and for, like, movie trailers and stuff. Things that would have articles written about them if they got a bunch of dislikes.
We're not allowed to give an opinion anymore.
Yeah, it basically removes the whole point of, like, the like and dislike bar, and it just reduces it to a popularity contest, which views already were that. Views already were a popularity contest.
Well,
so,
it's going to be funny watching this just blow up in their face.
I don't think it will, because, like, there's just no competition for YouTube. Like, there's nobody else who can take that. Like, different companies have, like, tried, but it hasn't worked. And YouTube's done plenty of things that are annoying.
Yeah.
But it hasn't manifested in any detriment to those people.
One of the things I do dislike about being a small creator, they can put ads on your channel and you do not get monetized for those ads at all. It's
annoying because it's just a thing that just makes the video worse. Also, they put ads on, like, videos on, like, how to do CPR. So if you're, like, in an emergency situation, YouTube's a pretty valuable resource for, like, how to do that. It's showing you a video of somebody doing that. It's better than, like, Googling a series of pictures. Like, you can see it.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Let me look this up.
Are you okay? Oh, fuck. Let me just watch through this Eternals ad.
Hold on. I got, like,
I would skip it.
ad.
But the Eternals are kind of epic, and I do want to watch the whole trailer again. I don't even know what gets at. I have YouTube Premium.
I don't. I did the 14-day trial.
It's certainly like a waste of money, but
definitely.
I do it nonetheless. And it's quite nice. I do it so I can listen to stuff and download videos.
There's actually this little trick that I do where you click on and off a video that has ads until it just lets you skip the ads. You can, like, completely click on the video and deal with no ads at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just ads. Like, I download stuff and, like, listen to it. Which is, you can't really do that with YouTube. And also, YouTube, I know it used to be that, like, you could turn off your phone and the video would keep playing, even if you didn't pay. And then YouTube removed that, basically.
And that's why I started using Spotify for everything.
Yeah, it's better for most things, for sure. I think at this point, you should introduce yourself properly.
All right. I'm Wilson's childhood friend, Michael.
He's my child. This is my child, Michael.
Papa, we do a podcast.
I do make him call me Papa. I make him call me Papa. I make him curl up in my lap. I bounce him up on my knee and he goes, blah, 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 blah. We have a good time. And so now we're on the pod.
Yep.
I decided to finally bring him on the pod. I was like, you're old enough. You know, at the ripe age of 7, you are old enough to come on the pod. You're old enough to know about sex and come on the pot. You're 7. You're old enough to. I'm gonna teach you all the facts of life.
When I drink alcohol.
Yeah. I inject heroin and you gotta introduce him so he knows to stay away. I injected heroin into his eyeball and now it doesn't open anymore. It's just like it doesn't open or close. It's sort of halfway in between always, and it's just sort of glazed over, like sort of a golden glaze over his eyeball. And it's always leaking a little bit. See, what I was really wanting to do this episode is see what having 3 people on would do.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the real Zach died of ovarian cancer.
Yeah, he got ovarian cancer. His ovaries are fucked up. basically, he was like, the doctors were like, well, we might have to remove your ovaries, and Zach is very protective of his ovaries, and so he was like, no, I'm not going to let you do this. I'm going to eat lots of fruits and veggies, and I'm going to survive.
Because that's how the world works.
Yeah, and then he was killed. I mean, he died. Was not killed, he died accidentally.
Or did he?
Nope, definitely accidentally died. I left you out in that car for a reason. I left you out in the car on that 365-degree day.
Oh, so that desert trip. I swear.
That trip, we went on we went on a little trip, an excursion into the
funky
desert.
Smell coming from the trunk.
Yeah, no, we took a stop by the volcano in New Mexico. Me and Zach always talked about going to there, and lo and behold. But yeah, because like on the regular podcast, like the reason why I like wanted to try doing 3 people is because, there's always like the awkward like dead air, and I think if we got like 3 people and they got to a point that was
mediate that.
Yeah, if you got 3 people and they got to a point where they were reasonably comfortable, then it would really mitigate that. Whenever I do videos, it's like it's very similar to this, and so I've taken Mike out of his element.
Definitely
Out of his element. You're out of your element, just like
running around at the park making funny videos, acting like a complete moron.
Yeah, he's gone. He's sold out. He's here now. He's moved up, and he's leaving all of his friends behind.
Yeah, fuck all them.
He's injecting coke into his balls.
Sure.
They're swelling up.
Sure.
They look like 2 big pimples.
That's
ready to
totally
pop.
accurate.
Yeah, we're on Apple Podcasts now, or maybe not. Maybe they'll watch the first episode and be like, no, because I uploaded a sequence from the first episode onto the YouTube channel, and it was the one where we talked about politically correct fairy tales, and in the first part,
politically correct fairy tales.
Yes, it's a whole thing. But in the first part of that thing, I like say there's a book on the table, and Zach's like, "What is it?" And I'm like, "It's the Quran." And then I say, "No, it's not the Quran." And then I'm like, "Well, this isn't an anti-Muslim podcast per se, but," and for that it got flagged on YouTube for hate speech.
Oh my gosh! It seems like everything is getting flagged for hate speech these days.
I don't think that many things get flagged. I think that specifically, like to me, it's like I understand how you could come to that conclusion about that statement. It is a hate speech-esque statement. Like if it's not obvious that it's a bit, especially uploaded outside of context, that's the first thing that was in that clip.
But that's what makes it comedy gold, right?
Yeah, that's what makes it funny.
There's no context.
There's no context, just bad.
Dude, you should do a video on Nika Avocado, whatever.
Well, the thing about Nika Avocado is that, first off, lots of people make videos, and also they're strangely mean-spirited. It's like, you gotta give the guy credit, he's on the grind.
It's all an act.
It is. Well, for sure, the freak-out bits are an act, but I believe that at its core, it is a fetish thing.
A fetish
the eating all the food, the being like, I don't know why I'm so fat, and eating all that food. It's a weird fetish thing. That's why he has an OnlyFans. That's why people pay him. Yes, he has an OnlyFans.
Oh, dear God.
I think definitely it is a fetish thing, and he's going to eat himself to death because it makes his penis hard. It makes his penis hard and his pussy. It makes his penis hard and his pussy wet like a slip and slide. And he's slipping and sliding his balls up inside of his pussy. That's just crass. I'm sorry, that's just crass.
Well, it's definitely an interesting perspective.
It is an interesting, yes. I mean, I think it's probably correct. I can't imagine that a person would do that for like a funny bit, but like for a fetish, I can imagine that pretty easily.
I watched a whole video. Meat Canyon responded to his response to Meat Canyon's little short that he did. And Meat Canyon was like, we all know what's really going on in the background. You know, you got to give the guy some credit for the grind, as you put it.
Yeah.
Because it's all staged. Even if he is eating himself to death,
Yeah,
he
well,
knows what he's doing. He's aware of it, and we don't really need to point out the elephant in the room because he's sitting right there in front of a camera.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a multifaceted thing. He's financially dependent on it to some extent now. But I don't know.
Let's talk about the whole husband thing. Like, dear God, I heard he's put that husband through some shit.
I mean, probably. I don't know anything about Nikocado or his loving, beautiful husband who he caresses.
To be honest, I just learned about him like a week ago, but it fascinated me so much that I just did like a whole bunch of research.
Deep dive. Make a fucking 80-hour documentary about Nikocado Avocado. There's like this fucking dickhead on YouTube who's made like a 4.5-hour documentary on the guy. It's like, what point are you fucking making that takes 4.5 hours about this guy who eats a bunch of food and gets fat? Like, what is...
How can you possibly come up with 4 hours worth of content for something so simple? It's just a guy that was skinny started making content about food, ate himself and ate until he gained like 500 fucking pounds and made a really bad unhealthy habit. But he's making money off of it at the same time, so he's probably not going to stop anytime soon, you know. You said we would be talking about shit.
I said that. I don't, but I don't have like any big shit story off the top of my head right now.
Well, I do.
Okay.
So the other day, I woke up and I just wanted to go into the bathroom and, you know, take a shower and relax.
Poo in the shower, step the poo down the drain.
My brother decided he wanted to take a dump truck of a shit in the toilet. I was like, one of them was like fucking 6 inches long. Went from one side of the toilet bowl to the other side.
I mean, that's a bit bigger than 6 inches. It's like a 8, 9, 10, 11 incher, 24 incher, 96 incher.
It was disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a whole log.
Like a bridge.
Like, oh my goodness. So, I go to flush the toilet, and it breaks in half, and it gets lodged inside of, like, the toilet. It doesn't go into the pipes all the way. So I take a plunger to it, and the toilet just overflows, and there's just, like, this little 2-inch log just flies out the fucking toilet.
Wow.
And lands onto the fucking ground. I don't see it there, so then I step on it, and because it's wet and like it's been like wet and softened, I slip on it and I like fall and hit the back of my head against the bathtub. And I'm like, well, my morning's fucked. So then my brother's gone. I wait until he gets home. And, you know, my day's a little bit better, but still a little pissed off about it. So I go to his room, I'm like, hey, Eric, next time you take a shit like that, I'm going to put it under your pillow so you get pink eye.
He wakes up in the middle of the night and there's just a severed piece of his shit log in his bed. The fucking Godfather theme starts playing.
Did you hear about the little trailer that I think it's Dan Harmon, who's like the lead of Rick and Morty? Apparently, they made a little trailer where he was f***ing babies. And everyone's like really pissed off at him.
Is it like a new show called Baby F***ers?
I don't fucking know.
They're gonna f*** every baby? That's such like a non-thing. Like, honestly, it would be worse if it were adult people. Because adult people like get regularly and would be very negatively affected, like seeing like that. But like, what's the issue with like a baby or dead baby? Like those things are just like, it's just crass. Like it's like people don't, not that okay. Maybe like a few guys, babies. Maybe you can maybe make an Avengers team of baby, but like the MCU is too big. You could do like Phase 1 of the Avengers and cast all of the Avengers as baby, but after that, I think there are more MCU characters than baby. There's an episode of Family Guy where Brian eats Stewie's shit, and it's like this. It's a dramatic thing. Like Brian,
I'm not surprised.
Brian is like, Stewie like shits his pants. It's the iconic episode where it's like they're in one location the whole episode, and like Stewie shits his pants and it's really stinky, and so Brian's just like, I'll eat your shit, and like Brian not only eats Stewie's shit and his baby ass. Brian eats Stewie's ass, eats a baby's ass, and that's just, they were like, this is a fucking dramatic moment. This is powerful. Because, like, later in the episode, Stewie, like, finds a gun, and Brian's like, well, I'm kind of depressed. I might kill myself. I don't know. It's like, whoa, that's really deep, man. That's really deep that you were going to kill yourself, man. You ate my asshole earlier. That's really deep. You got your tongue really deep into my ass.
Oh, my God.
I rewatched like the first like 12 seasons of Family Guy so many times.
I've rewatched the first and second season. I haven't finished like any of the other ones. I've seen more. Okay, my favorite episode was where Meg goes to prison. Mm-hmm. Like just watching Meg bash Peter's head into that stairway.
I don't know why they make fun of Meg so much. I think she's a hot babe, and I would suck on her nipples. I would suck on one of her big brown nipples. I don't understand why they're so mean to her. I would love her and care for her.
There's so much Family Guy porn.
Oh my God.
There's so much. And it's all incest, of course, because the only characters in there are related to each other.
Peetah.
That's the whole fucking...
Peetah.
Just a 12-hour video of
Peetah, you put Stewie in the washing machine. Peetah, did you shit on the floor again? Peetah, did you smear Stewie with shit and shove him into the garbage disposal? Peetah.
What the fuck? And by the way, guys, some forenotice.
Mm-hmm.
We don't actually endorse or enable the raping of babies. It is a joke, okay? And Zach, if you're still alive, if you survived...
Zach really can't say whether or not he is pro or anti-raping babies, so that's up in the air right now. We don't know what Zach would think.
It's quite a controversial topic.
We're not really sure what Zach would think. Zach could go either way on the raping babies thing. Well, this is like super insanely old news, but like a while back, this is just me talking about something, but a while back, Netflix like removed an episode of The Office, and it removed some episodes of like
that show.
Community and stuff, and they did it for like blackface, quote unquote blackface.
Really?
Yes.
That's stupid.
But like in Community, it's like the guy's doing like a dark elf thing, and it's like a bit. It's a whole bit because it looks like blackface, but he's trying to do a dark elf. And in The Office, like I didn't realize that it was blackface because like whenever I heard that, I was like, that doesn't happen in The Office. But it's just an episode where Dwight has dirt on his face, I guess. He just has dirt on his face the whole episode, and they're like, that's blackface.
So, just like that, I hate cancel culture, like, period, in general, because some of my old favorite childhood friends that bring back so much nostalgia for me, and bring joy deep in my blackened soul.
Deep in my dark
like
hole.
The Land of Frost Butter. I liked seeing the Indian and the plane and all that, but cancel culture called it racist, so I can't enjoy a picturesque nostalgia of one of my favorite brands.
I cannot enjoy the hot babe on the butter. I can't enjoy. I fantasized about meeting Aunt Jemima in real life and telling her it's okay and that racism is gone now. Racism's gone now. It's okay, and lovingly.
And you know what's stupid? Speaking of Aunt Jemima,
upon her nipples.
That's her company. It was run by a black woman, so it's not racist at all. And even if it was some white Caucasian dude that took that and used it as a logo,
I mean, you're sort of taking this thing also that. Like, it's not like a company is taking a political stance. It's like people have always gotten mad about like branding stuff, and companies will change that if they think it will help, like more people will buy their product. That's why they changed those things. That's why they changed the Land of Lakes lady. That's why they changed Aunt Jemima. That's why they changed Uncle Steve or whoever, whatever. Uncle Ben.
Uncle. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's why they changed that stuff. It's just because they thought it would be better for marketing and stuff. Whenever people say cancel culture, they mean like several things at once.
I just think of a bunch of like retarded people that take offense to something that they shouldn't be taking offense to at all. It has no racist meaning. I mean, it's not supposed to have a bad meaning, so why would you take offense to it? Like, logically, these pictures do not mean anything other than a brand, a
I don't
logo.
think they matter that much, but it is the same thing as like those like in Indian costumes that they'd sell at, like, costume places, which I mean are in some way like kind of racist. I mean, they're not like racist, but you understand what like it is. You know, it's
It'd
like
be different.
This culture is like it's like a costume, and it's sort of with mascots like that. That's sort of what people are getting at. I don't think it's not like an important thing.
It'd be
but it's fine for people to
if
not
someone
like it.
put on an Indian costume and started making like intentional racist slurs and stuff while wearing the costume and like trying to stereotype.
But it automatically does stereotype just by wearing it, because like it's already like it's taking like a relative like a diverse culture and like reducing it down to like this shit like this $30 costume. And I'm not saying that like it isn't that it's not like a huge issue, I don't think, but like out of all the issues, hey, it's kind of minor.
If that guy wants to cosplay as an Indian, let him cosplay as an Indian. He's not harming anyone doing it.
I mean, it's like I don't mind people like not liking that. I think it's fine for people to not enjoy that. And I think, Party Galaxy probably wouldn't want to have people wouldn't want to dress up like aliens because they know that it probably bothers some people. And we also don't know like if this is new or if it's just that because of the internet, it's more obvious what bothers people. I think particularly with companies like rebranding stuff, like that is particularly like insignificant to me. I think it's all pretty insignificant, but I think the worst thing is just like trying to get specifically just random people. I don't care that much about like fuck celebrities. I guess I don't really care about them.
I don't like celebrities at all.
So like
I think they're just a bunch of drama
if people get like some celebrity fired for saying something dumb, like I don't really care. But it is like random people and like people, because like, you know, there are the people who are like cancel culture doesn't exist, but like people are trying to get people fired. So like, yes, it does.
Absolutely.
That's what they're trying to do. So it's like a really dumb thing to be like, it doesn't exist.
I watched a video of this Karen that was apparently friends with the owner of the company. Mm-hmm. And she walked into the store and there was this employee that was just doing his job, right?
Yeah.
And there was this little sign that was like a 15% off this, right? So she went to do it and he showed her the date and was like, that sign's not in effect anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sorry. I can't give you this 15% discount. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you will give me this 15% discount right now.
Like sort of like a Jedi mind trick. You will give me this 15% discount.
Yeah, totally. Karen, you know, but
big Star Wars fans.
He's like, hey, I can't do this. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. You know. So she's like, I am friends with the owner of this business, and I will talk to him. And
that is a move that they do a lot. That's
you
like
will
a move
lose
like
your job. I want to.
They're like, I know the owner. That's like a normal. That is a thing that people say a lot when they want to like spook the employee. But the employees know that information. Like they're aware. It's not like they're gonna be like, oh, maybe they do.
It's like, oh no, let me give you this discount right now, just because you know the owner. It's like, just knowing the owner of a business doesn't give you any sort of special entitlement or treatment.
It could under certain contexts, but like they just don't know the owner. They just don't know them. They're just making it up. Like it's like a lie that like a small child would tell. Like I don't know. I don't know how the cookie jar. That's not a small child. That's small children like 8 billion years ago. Small children got into cookie jars, but it's like I don't know. It just fell down somehow. I don't know what happened.
Oh, what? I don't know what happened. So they just grew 2 legs and walked off.
Yes, because as young children, Like they're very stupid. So for a young child, it's like this idea like anything could just happen basically because they don't fully understand how the laws how things work because until you're like I don't know like 10, things sort of do just appear and disappear. Like as far as you're concerned, a thing could just pop into existence. And like,
where'd that TV come from?
like somebody could like have bought something and put it on the counter, and you might just take it and throw it away because you have no concept that like a person bought that.
It's like even if I was like a millionaire, I'd still live a very minimalistic lifestyle because I don't like having a lot of stuff. I don't like it. Even if I was in a relationship, I'd probably what's the word? Bash heads with someone on that because it's like I can't. If I have like multiple houses worth of shit, I'm going to get rid of stuff. I'm going to sell stuff because there is a limit to how much a person should have. Me and my mom's friend Doc, he is he's rich. He's filthy rich. He's a doctor. He has his whole life like all figured out.
Yeah.
He's the guy that approves like people's experimental drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
He works for the FDA.
He injects heroin.
He has this huge mansion with like 20 rooms, a sauna room, a pool room, everything, and he lives there by himself.
Yeah.
That's just all of that space.
I mean, that's like,
and
that's where you sort of like derive that meaning from. That is absent in any other thing because like that's the only thing that you can like strive toward. Like you are always like trying to make more money because like out of like necessity, and so all of the goals, every like fulfilling thing ends up becoming like this material gain and wealth, and like that is sort of the closest popular thing that we have to like modern spirituality or like faith. It is that dream.
Or you could be like Mark
just
Zuckerberg and put all of your money into stocks and stuff.
Yeah, but he probably still has a massive fucking house, and like he probably still has a pretty big closet, even if it just has the same fucking pair of clothes over and over again. But like that's it. Like that's the only thing that there is. Like that's how you know that you've become like successful, that you're like a complete person. It's whenever you can afford to get a bunch of useless shit.
There's a cool expression. So, and I think this is more prominent these days. The people that like to wear those fancy, expensive suits and smoke their Cuban cigars and drink like
chocolate,
top shelf whiskey,
strawberry milk.
They're probably working for the people wearing pajamas, sitting in a swivel office chair in, somewhere else.
I think that's sort of true sometimes. But like I don't really subscribe to that sort of like that still falls into like that CEO grind set sort of mentality where it's like, yeah, don't spend so much time picking out your clothes. Instead, spend that time making fucking money. And it's still like this, you're just totally dedicated to just being a machine for capital. Just endlessly producing more money, just endlessly like generating wealth.
Something that is like uniquely human. We spend most of our life trying to strive towards some grandeur goal, and we start to miss the bigger picture.
Well, but like,
there's so much.
Think about
more.
how, but it's such a shit goal. Like it's the shittest goal. It's just to have.
I want to be rich. Like
yeah, and like that desire for most people, like they want to be rich, but that they really just want to like not be anxious all the time. But even if you're rich, you're anxious all the time
and
because you're not secure in any of the things that you have.
They finally achieve that goal, and
I mean,
all satisfaction for a short while. They're extremely satisfied. They have what they want, but then eventually they grow bored.
Well,
then they grow depressed.
They don't achieve that goal though. Is the real thing. They like work their whole lives and they don't, because like not everybody can. Even if everybody did the correct thing, if some people have to be poor, some people have to not have jobs.
That's actually part of the system.
It is. That's
the craziest part.
That's
there
the way
has
it's designed.
to be homeless.
People have to be unemployed, or else like what are you going to do if like people go on strike and there's no unemployed people? How are you going to threaten them? How are you going to threaten the people going on strike?
You can't.
Because you can't hire anybody from this big pool. That's why unemployment is like a necessity and it has to exist. It's also like permanently higher now. Since like 2008, like unemployment has just been like permanently higher. Like it hasn't gone down.
I don't think it will anytime soon.
It just won't. Yeah.
You have people that are actually benefiting off other people being unemployed or homeless, and it's a very vicious system, but it works, unfortunately.
I mean, but it works in the sense that like, see, I honestly think that like something that just falls apart is like better than that. Like that it works, that it's stable is the bad thing.
You know what would be
you want
really
it to not
funny?
be. What?
I'm gonna go off subject for a second
That's
here. What if this entire time we've been doing this podcast, it hasn't actually recorded at all?
It is theoretically possible. I'm just saying, it is possible.
Like,
I'm gonna check. That's recording at least.
That'd be like really hilarious.
Yeah, it should be good. Even if something a little bit fucky happens, it's probably fine.
Probably.
Or maybe not. I guess one of the things I like didn't end up saying about like them removing shit from like the Netflix from like The Office or whatever. For one, that episode of The Office, Dwight just had dirt on his face. I like looked it up and I was like,
how is that blackface?
I like didn't know it was supposed to be like I was just confused the whole time. Maybe the character is blackface.
Speaking of blackface, you know how you have albinos?
Yeah.
There is actually an opposite of that, and I didn't even know that existed. To where an animal has too much pigment in their skins, to where they're completely black.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. While we're looking that up, I'll just say my little soapbox thingy. But it's weird, and like Disney has done the same thing with like removing shit from Disney Plus, like racist clips and stuff from their movies, and it's like you're just covering your base, you're just covering your ass. Like this isn't a progressive thing. Put a trigger warning at the beginning. If like that's fine. Lots of shows have like content warning. Something upsetting might happen here, and it's like fine. Then I don't care if shows have that.
If you're so sensitive that you can't handle like even a little bit of something like even similar to that, it's like that's what I don't like about today's society. You have half the population that can handle, jokes and understand it.
I don't think half the population can handle jokes, and I also don't think
the majority, which are so sensitive, you can't, be like that around them, or they'll take offense.
Well, okay. The issue with thinking about things like that is one, both sides definitely get upset if you joke about specific. There are specific things where if you joke about it, like the other side is going to get upset. And the jokes thing, I sort of am of this mind of like, jokes aren't just whenever you say nonsense that means nothing. Like jokes do mean things. Like I'm not saying that every joke. I'm not saying every joke is like communicating something serious, but lots of jokes do. Like lots of those people who are like in like 2015, 2016, like doing like ironic racist shit are like now like Nazis. Like it was to popularize that language. Like they knew what they were doing. And so like, and while I think in a lot of instances it's dumb. Like I still think it's like, I don't think it's fair to like look at jokes as if they're just nothing and they aren't communicating something, because they are.
So I've looked it up and it's called melanism.
Oh, melanism. Well, that makes sense, I suppose, because that's what makes black people's skin darker.
It means apparently in Greek it means black pigment,
and that's sort of what it is, I suppose.
You guys will never see this in your life, but Wilson has the great privilege of seeing a black squirrel.
That's cool. It's a black squirrel. That is pretty sick looking.
I do always get like anxious when people have babies. Like I never want to hold babies because I'm always just afraid I'm gonna drop it and it's gonna shatter. Like
Yeah,
I'm so like I just don't want to hold. I never like. Anytime someone's like, "Hey, do you want to hold a baby?" I'm like, nah.
Just shatter to a million pieces.
Like, that would just suck so hard. Like just imagine dropping a baby on like the soft spot of its head and it turns flat and just deflates and it looks like a lizard for the rest of its life.
Just imagine like getting puked on or shit on. It's like,
See, that doesn't worry me too much. It is definitely just like a child. Like I just have too much power compared to this child.
Just yeet.
Yeah. Like what if something spooks me and I just throw the baby into the ceiling or something and it gets stuck up there like Robin Williams in Jumanji.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just shaking its little leg.
I had a dream which is like very terrifying.
Uh-huh.
They had this ancient. I watched a video of like ancient torture methods and execution methods before I went to bed. And there's this one which I actually had a vivid dream about where they get 4 horses.
Oh, quartering
and they tie
people?
Yep, and they tie each of your limbs to the back of a horse.
Yeah.
And you're just ripped
so crazy
apart.
that they just like. That's so fucking gangster, dude.
Okay, so I was walking around in like this old 1800s like western town, and I just got grabbed from behind, and I just got dragged like 20 yards on the ground, and I just felt rope being like tied onto each of my limbs. And I looked up and just saw a guy over my head like, all right, boy, getting raped apart today. I'm just like, hold on, what? And I just felt like my joints popping.
Michael being oppressed for being a Native American. That's what that is.
I just felt like my joints popping out of place one by one in like excruciating pain. And I just feel my arm just get ripped off. And then I wake up after my chest just it's like, oh.
Quite brutal.
There was this, I hope I never have a dream about this. It's like called the Red Wing or something, where they like break your ribs and like stretch your skin out. And
yeah. There's so much shit. They'll like pour boiling oil. They're like fuck you up, pour boiling oil on you. I read the intro to Discipline and Punish by Foucault. Like it's just a description of some like guy in like fucking I don't know medieval France or some shit, just getting absolutely tortured, just cut apart, just fucked up. Because it always fucks up. They're like, oh, we're gonna like quarter them, and it doesn't rip their arm all the way off, so you got to cut it off. Just a messy sort of affair. And that's just how that book starts. And I just have vivid imagery related to that.
There is this one punishment called the Brazen Bull.
Oh yeah, that one
is like
the one where they put you in the bull and they just set it on fire under it and you just boil in there. And boil in the sweat and the muck and the pee and the poo. I want the pee and poo. Speaking of people who should die horribly, all this talk is it's made me think. It reminded me of something that I was thinking about. I was like, it's like Pizzagate and that shit. It's like with all these fucking alt-right people, with all the QAnon people, why isn't one of them just assassinated one politician? Can we just get one politician assassinated? Can just one person do that? Like, it's been such a long time, honestly. We are so overdue, and it's like, look, I'm not saying necessarily that like Pizzagate is real or the QAnon or the fucking adrenochrome shit. Like, I don't think a lot of that's not true, but like some of it is probably. Some of it is definitely. We know some of it's true. Some of it is Epstein and stuff. Like, why can't any of these guys actually fucking man up and go kill a politician? Kill a protester. It's like. What fucking who cares? What good's that gonna do? You kill some protesters? Who cares? How about you kill a senator or something? That'd be cool. If somebody killed,
that's the new fad.
Even if somebody was like an alt-right person, if they killed like a senator, I'd be like, that's kind of fucking. I mean, like even if it was the senator I liked, the only senator that I kind of like would be like Bernie. Even if they kill him, I'd be like, I kind of respect that. But if they killed anybody else, I'd be like, fucking good. good. Like,
So, what if they took it a step further? Instead of killing a senator, just a run-of-the-mill politician, just kill fucking Joe Biden.
fucking, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. To have a president assassinated? We don't even get to hear about it anymore. Because, like, with the last president that you hear about getting, like, assassination attempts is, like, George W. Bush. Like, people tried to kill him. But, like, Obama, I'm certain somebody tried to kill Obama. I'm certain lots of people tried to kill Trump. We don't get to hear about any of it anymore, though, because, like, I guess the
press.
It'll make more people try to do it, you know? Fucking lame, you know?
Like,
they'll learn from their mistakes.
Biden. So I've been watching these videos of Biden traveling across the United States. People have been like waiting for his little car to go by with the "fuck Joe Biden" signs and all that.
Why don't you instead wait by there with a gun?
Well, I mean, Secret Service probably scouted the entire fucking place.
I mean, probably, but
beforehand. But
I mean, you could just have a gun. You could just have one. You just have a little gun.
Just put a little orange tip on it.
Yeah, put a little orange tip on the gun. Just point at the president.
Oh, it's not a real gun.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah, it's funny. It's actually the opposite. If you're a child with a toy gun, they'll just kill. They'll just fucking put a bullet in your fucking face. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
I don't like what those leftists say about guns. It's like, hey, it's not the gun itself that's bad. It's the person holding the gun that's bad. Okay.
I mean, I don't even think. I think it's like culturally, we're just very bad at dealing with guns. We like
because there's actual.
The issue is that
statistics show places with more gun control have more gun violence, and places with less.
Well, it's because places with more gun control tend to be cities, so people just take guns that they buy outside of a city. They just take it into a city because it's not like the cities are like
it's
walled
like
off.
Texas. If you try to rob a convenience store in Texas,
I mean,
you're probably going to get shot to death.
You probably could rob. Like the thing is like places with high gun control tend to have that gun control because there is more violence in the first place. But it's just so easy to bring a gun into a place with stricter gun laws that it basically doesn't matter. So it's less to do with like the actual law, but I think
like I've seen so many articles and like stories of people trying to rob someone or rob a convenience store in Texas and they just get shot to death. Like the second they pull out the gun, everyone else already has one pulled out.
Thinking about that, let the guy get some shit, you know? Like here's the reality, like people just don't have the skill to like deal with anything. Like, it's either go to an authority or kill it. Those are the two switches that people have.
I think that's been a human thing since
I don't think it's a human thing.
Time.
I do not. I think we are very much so, like, you should be able to talk to people in that sort of situation. Also, somebody wants to rob a gas station, let them take the food. Just let them take it. If they're not going to shoot somebody, let them take it. Like, people are just incapable of, like, de-escalating things. People either are just beholden to authority or they only want to escalate things.
But if you have a gun pointed to you and
I understand that
you're not good under pressure.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think that people could be better under pressure. I get it, like having a gun pointed at you.
Unless you're like a soldier or someone that's used to dealing with war or violence, it's
I mean, I think there's so many issues that like are wrapped up in it. There's so many issues that are wrapped up in like gun violence statistics and stuff, and there's so many issues that are wrapped up in like people's inability to deal with certain issues whenever things get like
if
stressful.
If someone put a gun to my head, I don't give a fuck about my life at all. I don't care. I will be like, shoot me. Do it right now. I will fucking put my hand on the trigger and pull it myself and be like, fucking do it.
Do it, you coward.
I don't care. You know.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it's actually about time to end the podcast. The camera has 3 minutes of battery left.
Okay.
So, Zach will probably be on the next one unless he does die for real. Who knows? Maybe that would happen. Hey, you can bet on that on betdsi.com, today's sponsor. Just kidding. We, of course, do not have a sponsor. Goodbye.